Welcome back to Good Morning Football, coming at you live from Mount Laurel, my favorite shot. And
that's your favorite?
Look at that. They did like the behind the cam, in front of the cam.
It's good.
NFL Films.
Fourth wall.
It's like they know what they're doing
right
here.
there.
They really do. It's a good name for them, too, Films.
Lots to discuss. Okay.
Oh, that was Inception.
Did you not see that? That's what I was talking about.
No, you threw the camera. I didn't get what they were doing here. Is the top spinning or not? I don't know.
I don't know.
Let's see how many stories, guys, that we can get through in what we call a mad minute. So much going on around the league. So let us start with some free agency news. Tyrann Mathieu. Kyle, I'm coming to you, so you better stop shuffling papers.
Scrambling like Steve Young over here.
He did not have to wait long to find his new team. Released by the Cardinals just last week, our very own Tom Pelissero reporting that the Honey Badger is headed to the Texans. It is a one-year deal, $7 million. J.J. Watt was recruiting him hard, assuming he is healthy. J.J. Watt is healthy. How good could this defense be in 2018?
Really good. And I'm ready, Kay. I'm ready to roll.
Okay.
Listen, I would love to say, I want to say this narrative that, like, this is exactly the Tyrann Mathieu you want. The one who's motivated, who's put down upon, the one who was kicked off the team at LSU, and he's going to be more fueled up than ever. But it's just really simple. It has nothing to do with that. It has to do with whether he can stay healthy. Like, he gets hurt. He's gotten hurt a lot, and I hate it because, let's just talk about watchability. One of our favorite words here, the AFC South with the Jags defense and the Titans defense and the Texas defense is the most watchable defensive division in all of football. So I need the Badge to stay healthy because he's electric.
Yeah, and you're looking at what they were able to do when they had all their guys on the field in 2016. They were ranked #1 in total defense. And then you fast forward, and not just J.J. Watt, also Whitney Merciless. Remember, he's coming back from an injury.
Crazy to think about.
And they also lost A.J. Bouye, who we all love. But now you add Honey Badger. I got to be honest, though. When I saw this deal, 1 year, $7 million, I get it. It's bet on myself because he wants to hit big again in free agency. But I was surprised because I feel like he's a double-digit a year guy. I feel like he's worth at least $11 or $12 million. How talented he is when he's healthy. The question is, can he be healthy?
Would you be surprised if he has a better season than J.J. Watt does? J.J. Watt, we don't know what kind of J.J. Watt we're going to see. Even in the games leading up to the injury, didn't quite look like himself. So is he going to get back to Defensive Player of the Year caliber?
Yeah, you know, I identify with J.J. Watt because towards the end of my career, I had all these different things. I had metal in my arm, metal in my knee, had the ACL, broken leg, and broken rib, all these different injuries, and I still was out there trying to play at a high level, and at times I did, but then my body would just speak to me louder, and it would sit me down on the sideline. Tyrann Mathieu's not battling that much stuff. So when he's healthy and bouncing back from injury, and you got to imagine this year is going to be even better because he's a few years removed from actually being so banged up.
What if I told you that the Texans were dead last in defense last year?
Don't do that.
Dead last.
Is that true?
Yeah.
They lost a lot of guys.
They allowed 27.3 points a game last year.
It's brutal. Going to go up.
Only go up from there. That's what I'm saying. All right. Speaking of impressive defenses, the Vikings have added D-tackle Sheldon Richardson to an already stacked unit. They were the top-ranked defense in the league in 2017. Now adding Richardson, do you guys expect them to repeat that feat this season? So going from talking about the worst defense to what was the best.
I do like this, and I love this a lot for the simple fact that now you're seeing more often that dominant players are playing with dominant defenses, or dominant offense players are going to dominant offenses. It's a little bit different now. We see this all the time happening in basketball, the NBA. You'll see a big two or a big three. A guy goes into free agency, a buddy recruits him, and all of a sudden he's playing with another team that's as talented as him. We even heard rumor that Ndamukong Suh was visiting the LA Rams. We're thinking, Suh with Donald? It's going to be amazing. So the fact that Sheldon Richardson is signing with a team that we already know is dominant, it's going to be even better defense than they were last year. So yes, Kay, they will be better.
Somewhere along the line in Madden, they had a feature where if you tried to make a trade, the game would be like, no, you can't make that trade. It's not fair. Yeah. Sheldon Richardson's going to the Vikings feels like that.
Really?
But I will say this, Kay. I don't care if they're #1 this year because on paper, they're incredible. The secondary, the linebackers, everything, they're incredible. I don't care. I don't care if they're #1, if they're #5. What I care about is they got spanked by Philadelphia in the playoffs. And in a Super Bowl or bust season, statistics, I have no time for that from the Vikings. I don't care if you're 1 or 32. You need to get 3 wins in the playoffs, or maybe 4, because you came up short last year. That's where I want to see them win.
If Sheldon plays up to his potential, and I've followed him his entire career, if he plays up to what we know he can be, this defense will be better, but he easily could not. So I hope that this is sort of a new reinvigorated Sheldon Richardson that we're looking at. Speaking of the Eagles, who you just mentioned, they have something to say in the best defense in the NFC conversation, but after failing to come to an agreement on a pay cut, the team released defensive end Vinny Curry on Friday. Curry agreed to a 3-year deal with the Buccaneers just a day later. So according to NFL Network insider Ian Rappaport, guys, despite the loss of Curry, are you confident, or how confident are you that the Eagles defense will not skip a beat now in 2018? They did add Michael Bennett, knowing that Vinny Curry probably wasn't going to shake out.
Yeah, it's weird to even be hearing a story about the Eagles not getting a guy because they get everybody. I feel like if you're ever watching the Olympics and you're watching ice skating or gymnastics or something, and there's that little double step, like the little fault that they make when they say, ooh, right there, that'll cost them a point from the perfect routine.
And I'm always sitting there like, I didn't even see it.
I saw nothing, Scott Hamilton. What we're talking about. But they know. And I feel like this was just a little misstep. They wanted to keep him clearly because they wanted him to take him less money. The fact that he is leaving, I don't think this is great. I understand that there's plenty of sand on that beach and the guys that they brought in. Vinny Curry was good. He was really integral down the stretch last year. I know they didn't want to leave him. It's like they were dancing the Black Swan and they just made one little mistake.
Yeah. During the offseason, it seemed like they had a door that only opened up from the outside, so they just kept getting guests. Everybody was coming in, and they locked from the inside, so nobody was leaving. But now all of a sudden, one of their guys leaving. This is a big deal, and it's not a huge deal in this fact that it's going to change this team completely, but it seemed like there was this huge party, and everybody was showing up, and for the first time, one guy walked out and was like, I got to go somewhere else. I'm going to another party, and it's in Tampa.
You guys are both wrong. They're going to be fine. This is a non-story because you have Derek Barnett. You bring in Michael Bennett, so there was a chance Derek Barnett wasn't even going to start again. Derek Barnett played in games, did not start in any, and still somehow had 6 sacks. Like, how did that actually happen? So the fact that Derek Barnett now can step up and show us what a monster he is, and we love him as a character in this league, you're up.
Yeah, it's time.
Go get it. No, you're right.
All right, finally, after 10 seasons in Dallas, the Cowboys released corner Orlando Scandrick, and the team has not made really any free agency moves so far this season. So, A, do you feel bad for Jane Slater? And B, would you say that they've been a little bit too quiet, Nate?
No, I don't think so. I feel like for this offseason, the Cowboys are looking at the kind of landscape of the NFL and understanding that they just needed a mulligan. They had a season, for whatever reasons, on and off the field issues, they didn't play the way they wanted to. And we thought this whole Dez thing was going to come down crumbling, and we haven't seen anything happen with that so far. Scandrick, this has been happening for a while. It's been in the works, them attempting to try to get him to take a pay cut. He said, you know what, I'm good. I'm going to, after a decade of playing ball, go move on somewhere else. So this isn't going to surprise me. What will be surprising if they go into next season the same way they did in the previous one, which I don't think they'll do.
In free agency, you know, as a fan, you want the big, shiny, expensive player. The Cowboys haven't gotten any of them because they already have them. Let's talk turkey here, guys.
Okay.
The money against the cap. Dez, 16.5. Tyron Smith, 17.5. DeMarcus Lawrence, 17.6. Sean Lee, 11. Zach Martin, 9.3. They have very well paid. Dez Bryant, 16.5 mil. And here's the funny part. Dak Prescott, $725K. That's what he is to get. So we're in the window of let's go, let's win, but you can't bring the expensive players in because you already have them. They just need to play better.
They have the 3rd fewest cap space.
I believe it.
Right now, they cannot make money moves. All right, he may not be in the NFL yet, but Baker Mayfield already has all of the cameras on him, including ones that he's putting on himself. He's got an own docuseries going. Baker will release a documentary called Behind Baker. How's this rubbing y'all?
All right. First of all, I love that we now call reality shows docu-series.
It's a docu-series.
Yeah. Where was that when I was running around in my underwear on MTV? It was a reality show.
I was. Real World.
I know. I was. We stopped being polite, start being real. Blah blah blah. I watched this though. I watched the trailer for this. By the way, Strager made the trailer. He's in the trailer talking about Baker and not so sure about him, but. The whole thing is not Baker walking around at parties or his record label. It is him selling himself as a football player. He's like, I got this going for me. I believe in myself. So it is pretty much just like an infomercial for him, which I get it. He's in sell mode. I don't mind it at all.
I know Nate's answer to this, so I'm just going to ask you. If you were Baker Mayfield, would you do this?
Yes, because of the nature of it. It's not gratuitous. It's not him running around at foam parties. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's all football from what I've seen. So I would.
Yeah, 20 years ago, even 15 years ago, there were a couple networks that really covered the NFL completely. Now you got a handful of networks on major cable. You have so many different streaming platforms. You have all these different social media platforms. And after guys get done with the process of making the league, oftentimes as fans, we want to know what happened.
Yeah.
And now guys are starting to create a story behind that. And I'm loving it because these guys are building their own brands before their brand even gets started in the league.
It's building a brand, but it's also selling yourself, as you're saying. There's the reward outweighs the risk. The only reason I wouldn't do this is because inevitably one of these draft prospects is going to word something some way, use verbiage he shouldn't have that's going to be misconstrued, post something he shouldn't on social media, or say something in a documentary, a docuseries that somebody goes through edit, and it gets out there. That's the only reason why I would say don't do something like this. But if I was Baker Mayfield, I'd go for it.
I say do it. The best thing that could happen is you turn into Tom Brady. I would still love to see that journey. The worst thing that could happen is you'll be Ryan Leaf in the beginning of your career. And guess what? I still would love to see that.
Great stuff.
Like it,
That
Nate.
is our bad minute. Hashtag GMFB. Keep your tweets coming. Did you just say Ndamukong Suh's hanging out with Aaron Donald and the Rams?